What is up, duelists? This weekend I played YCS Buenos Aires and ended up losing top 16 to my beloved teammate, also my host, Daniel Fernandez. Before I go into the deck profile, let's make sure to check out UG Academy. We have a lot of interesting things going on. You can play with us, test with us, get coached by us, and yeah, let us help prepare you to your next event. If it's locals, if it's a regional, if it's a bigger event like YCS national season that's coming up, be prepared well and just benefit from our United Ghosts Academy. You can find us on Metapod. So I initially wanted to play Fiendsmith Rico, the deck I played in YCS Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. But during the testing, it wasn't really testing, it was just like playing some games because I prepared a lot for the previous events and I played the deck for quite a while now, the Fiends of Rizo. I just, on Thursday night, decided, I came here and I had some cards with me and I had like a plan B. And plan B was the Tenpai cards. And so I knew I was gonna play Fiendsmith. I love Fiendsmith. But I didn't feel the Rizo cards. I just didn't like the Rizo cards too much. So I thought, you know what, fuck it. Thursday night, changed the deck, built the deck Thursday night. I tested 2 matches against Malice and like 4 matches against Ubel, against Patrick Open shoutouts. And that was my testing. Like, I had 0 matches tested against Rizo. So yeah, it was kind of a hard call, but I felt like I know what, and I was very comfortable enough to know what every deck does in the format to also be able to adapt with the deck at you. I mean, I ended up losing honestly because I didn't know the deck enough, but I'll get into that later. So for the main deck, the probably best engine in the game right now is the Fiendsmith cards. It was just a very standard Fiendsmith engine with only 2 tracks. You could debate a third one, but I just didn't know what I want to cut, and I'm already playing 42 and I didn't want to go higher. And even the Lacrimas, you don't need more Lacrimas because the Tenpais are in normal sum usually. Yeah, it was like perfect. Then the Bestial also was a big part of the engine though. This card is insane. Like, against Malice was pretty popular, and Malice is super scary. And the interruption Regain provides against Malice is so good. Even if it's like turn 2, like they go first, but you manage to somewhat break the board and set up Regain. You're just so ahead, or like you can deal with their follow-up so well. And also this card baits so much. Then 3 Druids, 2 Baldric, 1 Magna. I think that's a good ratio of the Bestials. You don't want to see too much of them, especially when there's Malice in the format, but they work against so many decks, and also because South America has a lot of Rogue, I felt like these cards would be good as well. Then the Regain for the main deck just ends up the Bestial engine. Then the actually good dragon engine, the best dragons in the game. The Chandra, Fadra, Genroku, 2 Pydra, Kaiman, Summoning, Terraforming. Besides Fadra, everything of this is like an instant game if it resolves. So the game plan of the deck is try to bait everything out, or like break everything with this part of the deck, and then just use this part to kill. While on the other hand, these cards, except for this, these 5 cards, they're Fiendsmith combo. And if you have this, it even or this searching this, it even lets you have a scary follow-up. Like leaving this on field, the opponent has to clear it, otherwise they know they're gonna be dead next turn. So Pyra searching for field spell searching for either Genroku or Chandra. It has to be Chandra, I'll tell you why later. And then Chandra searches on itself, go Moon, full Fiendsmith combo while still having this on board. That's so broken. Never thought about that. Like when Fiendsmith and Tenpai was out in doing Snake Eye format, but apparently this works pretty well. And then Prosperity, which is kind of a Tenpai card because it lets you search for this. I think I resolved it like twice during the entire tournament, and I won both games. So yeah, this Prosperity definitely was a good card in my deck. That was the engine. Then I played a good amount of non-engine. I was playing Nib. I really like Nib in this deck and in the format right now. South American format, gotta say that. I was expecting this card to be a bit better, especially here, because people not expecting it, or also like this against a rogue is way better than it is against like a Malice player that knows how to play around it, or a Rise player that does not play into it. So yeah, it was definitely a good card for this event. I think I resolved it every time I drew it. Then Fuva, Ash, and 2 Ghost Ogre, 2 Veiler. So I couldn't decide which one I want to have more. So I just played 2-2 and maybe even take this as seeing or figuring out what I want to keep on playing for the future, honestly. The last 2 cards, one of my favorite cards in the game, said it a couple times, Talents. In this deck especially, you try to make, if you go second, you try to make them like through a hand trap you or interact with you. Then Talents rip the Ash or like the other hand trap, most likely Ash if they have Ash, and then just kill through it with the Tenpai card. So you can search something or take something you can't out or whatever. It's just, it helps you kill. It's such an amazing card. That's a 42 card main deck. Then the extra deck. I played 2, also worked really well with Talents. I think I summoned it like once or twice. It was pretty good. It's an amazing card. It lets you out cards that you, or like it lets you out follow-ups while also getting advantage of breaking the board. I played Crazy Beast and Lars is the 2 rank 6. Lars was insane. Lars being a fire dragon did come up actually, while having the field spell on the field. This card is so good. Crazy Beast was very good in theory, but I never really used it, honestly. Never got to the point where I had to zone it. Then Almirage Hida for making every normal summon hand trap and turning every normal summon hand trap and normal body into Hida, crashing Hida, search Genroku, Tenpai ODK with it. That's the reason why what I said earlier. You want to search this as the extender to keep this in your deck for the Hida, so you can still kill. That's very important. That's why I lost my top 16 match against Hida, because I didn't think of that. I was missing the practice, missing the experience with the deck. So I just searched Chandra. So if he managed to resolve Binder and banish, no, I searched Genroku. Didn't search Chandra because I was like, if he's gonna resolve Binder, banish my Chandra from graveyard, that hurts so much. So I was like, yeah, you can banish Genroku, I don't care. But in the end, you have to keep Genroku in the deck for this card. Then SP, mandatory in decks like this. Moon, Sequence, 2 Requiem comes up a lot. Desiree, Necroquip as the Fiendsmith cards, and then just 3 Synchros to kill. You want to play this card, especially if you play the Hida line. So you can summon your Nib token and tag if you manage to Nib, and then kill with Trash Hida into it, and then you need something that gets more like bigger than the actual Nib token. I mean, you can still do this kind of and crash it, summon it out, pop the Nib token, but at that point you have to see, like you have to pray that you do enough damage without it. So this card just makes everything easier. This card lets you play Prosperity, which I think is pretty good. For the side deck, I played the Malice, hate the Lancias, obviously. The second Regained, This card was so good for me. Like having more than one regain, hard drawing it more against Malice, just this by itself wins the game. Just this and Strike actually won me the game at the top 32. I went first, activated this and Strike passed on that. He tried to Ash it and then Strike the Ash on that. He passed back with the Dormouse Managed Rabbit, put back Rabbit, drew into like Engrave or something, just Engine. It gave me like two draws while also being an interruption. Then Harpies. I wanted to play Lightning Storm, or like thought about it, but I feel like with the many Bestials you had and other cards that put themselves on board, like Nib, it can be a dead card, and you don't want to have any dead cards if you want to kill. Which, on the other hand, you kind of want to, like, I was kind of wishing to play Lightning Storm a couple times to being able to better kill. Maelstrom was with Detonator because this card always is scary if it's on the end board. I don't know if this was correct actually, but the amount of the times I've resolved Metaltronus, it was pretty good, and also won me some games against Rizel, so I think it was definitely worth for it in the this tournament. It was a good card, but I don't know if it's still going to be in the deck for the future. Then 3 Summon Strikes is the going first card. Obviously very good. People don't really side in Lightning Storm and Duster against this deck because what do you want to hit? Like, I'm not playing Imperm. They won't see any Imperms, so they can hit Regained, and yeah, I don't think that's a big problem, except for Malice. Malice might actually want to hit Regained. The last 3 side, the cards I played were Phantasmes. These won me a couple very good, very important games, but they made me lose the most important game. So what happened is I played this card the entire tournament, and I was building the deck like kind of last minute. Actually had 3 Gravekeeper's Inscription on my deck list, not Phantasmes. So I got deck check top 16. They saw it and obviously got a game loss for it, had to play Inscriptions, and starting 1-0 against Malice is scary, and then the Hida thing happened where I didn't have to even rogue in my decks to search anymore, and yeah, I lost the top 16 to Tayel. Shoutouts to him, he definitely deserved that one. But this card was definitely a very, very good card. Also fun interaction, you can tribute this off to summon the Lubellion from graveyard, because Lubellion just requires a level 5 or level 6 or higher Dark Dragon. So if you keep this on the field and just Lubellion in your turn, and they don't see a Bestial on field, they don't really Bestial this away, so you can just tribute the Phantasme off for Lubellion. That's pretty cool. And still have the Bestial in the hand. And also the protection effect sometimes came up actually. I once discarded Larry to protect something. Yeah, that's nice to trigger Larry off that. That was it for the deck. I was pretty happy with the deck. It felt really cool. It was very fun to play, honestly. I love Tenpai cards. Yeah, for the future, I don't know how good this deck will be. Maybe it was just a one-time thing. Probably it was just a one-time thing. I don't know if any other events, also considering the South American fact, this deck will be viable. But we'll see what the future brings. And as always, if you have any questions, if you have any things you want to know about the deck, let me know in the comments, or talk to me on Metafy with the UG Academy. I'm always open to answer questions, whatever you guys want to know about it. And with that, thank you so much for watching the